This episode, we're going to talk about going to great heights, the mountaintop, the great experiences of our faith that stick with the youth and in turn transform our ministries. Retreats, pilgrimages, mission trips. We call these in youth ministry mountaintop experiences. Why? Well, because you're on the top of the mountain. You are feeling the faith in such an elevated, escalated, heightened way. And these are the experiences which I always refer to. You always hear me say this, touch the heart and touch the souls. But really, these are the ones that we want to hone in on and we want to focus on because they truly do touch our souls in such a deep way. So my husband and I, with my son, John Paul Anthony, just got back from a pilgrimage to Italy. So you might have been following along on some of my social media, and this is in 2020. So if those of you are watching it from the past, you can feel free to scroll back. But those that may have been watching along the way, just recently we got back from a pilgrimage to Italy. And what an amazing experience it was. Yes, it was difficult with a 2-year-old, but experiences of pilgrimages are often not easy. Actually, they're not supposed to be easy. They're not supposed to be, we get the most sleep. It's not a vacation. It's not a time to relax. It's a time to really make a sacrifice and go through that experience as a sacrifice. And these pilgrimages, these experiences of retreats and different things, they really are sacrifices, but sacrifice yields such great growth in our faith, right? We see that right from the cross. Jesus, the ultimate sacrifice on the cross. And through that sacrifice, what do we gain? We gained heaven for all eternity, everybody to be together. And so, what a great example for all of us of sacrifice. And so, these pilgrimages, these little experiences that we can go through, have a sacrifice, we know it's going to yield such great faith. So, we got back from this pilgrimage just about a week ago after recording this, and wow, it just sent me into a very deep in faith. We were in the Vatican. We prayed by the tomb of St. John Paul II. We also went on to Turin. We were by the tomb of Blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati. We were by the tomb of St. Dominic Savio. We were also blessed to go to St. Anthony of Padua, his tomb, where my son, we really truly prayed to St. Anthony. And then on to Venice, which is where St. Marcus. So we got to see a lot of amazing saints. Also along the way, we saw St. Luke, St. Matthias, St. Justina. So we saw a lot of amazing experiences of our faith that truly helped deepen our family. We could do this on a youth ministry level as well. I know with some of our groups, we haven't been able to take them to Rome, but yet we have gone some beautiful places. The furthest we've gone were apparition sites to other countries where the Blessed Mother has appeared that were approved by our church. That's pretty incredible to be able to take groups there. And I know those were lasting impressions of faith to be able to go to these sites. We've also gone a little more local. Right near us in the Philadelphia and New York area, we have two beautiful basilicas that we are able to take our youth to and see St. Patrick's Basilica in New York and St. Peter and Paul in Philadelphia. So those two basilicas are just beautiful in themselves. While they're not as old and architectural and beautiful as the ones in, say, Italy, you still get a height and deepen of faith. And those youth can see, wow, our faith is incredible. It's grand. Not too far off also is DC. We have our National Basilica there, the Immaculate Conception. And so those three alone are just incredible to take youth to if you live in the East Coast area. If you live a little more, say, in different parts of the country, find beautiful churches near you. Just do a pilgrimage to different churches in your diocese. We've done that before. We called them the gems of our diocese. Those are amazing opportunities just to hear from the pastors there about the history of that church and what it's all about and where it came to be. And so there's a lot of different ways you can do pilgrimages. It doesn't have to be out of the country to other places, although those are great. So use those as a ministry tool because they were totally deep in your faith. Another heightened immersion in the faith is those that go on mission trips. Going on a mission trip is just something like no other. We have mission trips throughout the United States at different parts of the states. We have some right in our own diocese, if you're from the Camden Diocese, right in Camden, immersion experiences where you can deepen your faith on mission work. We have some within our diocese as well called Summer in the City, where they immerse the youth for a week-long service opportunity experience where they serve at different sites throughout that week. And I hear some amazing, incredible witnesses of faith just from those experiences alone. We've had those that have converted to the Catholic faith through experiences like this. So I can tell you it does work. These experiences do work in touching the heart and touching their souls. And so some of these experiences can be even greater. I encourage my young adults in my ministry who are part of their college campus ministry to take experiences of the faith on mission trips if they are offered to them. And I know on the college level, they are offered in a lot of different ways. And so we've had a lot of young adults involved in college ministry, especially through programs such as Focus Missionaries. They've done mission trips to other countries and have been working with the poor, building houses, building wells, serving others, teaching them the faith, and some of them have even landed jobs through this. I thought that was pretty incredible to see the fruit that has come from working in mission trips. And so that is pretty incredible to witness. And those mission trips really do touch such a deep, deep, deep part of our faith. I know I got the opportunity, I was blessed to go in 2015 to serve amongst the missionaries at charity. I love Mother Teresa. And during my childhood, she was alive and she was witnessing the faith. And I would see her on the news or see her in the newspaper and read all about her. Of course, this is before social media. So those were our news outlets. And I was able to see like the great work that she did. And I was so inspired by it. I started serving the homeless in my local community and still do today. And so those experiences really did lead me to go on this mission trip in 2015 and serve amongst the missionaries at charity. And that experience alone, I'll tell you, that changed me as a person in so many good ways. So many ways that I'm just so more insightful about throwing out food or serving others that are in need. That really truly has touched me as a youth minister. And I know some of my young adults and youth that have gone on mission trips as well. And it's a very key point that when those go on mission trips, have them come back and talk to your ministry. Because maybe you're not taking a mission trip as a whole. If you are able to do that again, it'll be great. But if not, those that do go on them, have them come back, show pictures, show videos, share about their experience, talk about it, let them share to your greater group. That has always been a really key point in our ministries because these kids know the young adults or the others that were once part of your ministry or are currently part of your ministry. And then to see the work that they did, it just really does share it with others. It really does now take them to that place. Even though they maybe couldn't physically go with them, it does take them away in the pictures and the videos to be able to see what these other youth and young adults have done. So use those youth and young adults to share about their experiences if you can't go as a group. And then maybe be creative. How can you bring mission work to your ministry? How can you have service within your ministry? So, just recently, and I know a lot of youth groups do this, and I think it's fantastic. We made sandwiches for those to be given out on the streets in Philadelphia. And there are many. And I have a very dear friend of mine that I met very early on in youth ministry. He's amazing. And he goes early into work every day on the train and hands out these sandwiches, blankets, gloves, hats, scarves, things like that, especially during the winter time to keep those on the streets and basically living in the train station overnight, sleeping in the train station overnight. He does that as a little ministry of his own. And so many people have pitched in. So we thought, hey, where can we help? And so we had the younger group make the sandwiches, design bags that have positive messages on it, put the bags together with sandwiches, little treats in there, the messages, roll them all up, have them ready to go. God moment right there. The next day, some of our youth had off from school. And so I invited them to come. We got permission slips together really quickly, and we were able to go out there amongst those in Philadelphia in the train station and hand out these sandwiches that were prepared by our group. Wow. Wow. I wasn't expecting for it to do what it did for our ministry and for what it did for myself. Like it was incredible. Now to see someone 20 minutes away living in the US, sleeping in the train station with just some paper bags that held their stuff together and their feet all curled up, trying to remain warm before they're about to get kicked out of the train station. And for high school students to see this, it changed us. It did. It changed us as a ministry. It changed us as individuals. And so, see what's right around you. Mother Teresa said, if you can't feed 100, just feed one. So just focus on maybe the one that is right around you. That's a mountaintop experience in service. So that will really change your ministry. The last aspect of mountaintop experience that I want to share with you is retreats. Now, these right from the start are going to give you such spiritual, faithful depth in your ministry. I cannot speak enough about retreats. So the reason I am a youth minister today is because of a retreat. And so If it wasn't for going on a retreat my sophomore year of high school and feeling God's love in such a powerful way, I don't know if I would be a youth minister today. That's a powerful statement because somebody took the time to prepare a retreat, give it to young people, which is not always easy to do, between chaperones and staying up all night, lack of sleep, lots of coordination, lots of different things coming together, coordinating priests for mass, coordinating priests for confession, coordinating the whole weekend itself, food and accommodations and everything else. It's a lot of planning. But if it wasn't for someone taking the time, my youth minister back then, I don't know if I'd be doing what I'm doing today. And so I'm so thankful for that experience, and I always want to give it to others. So, a little story, when I first started at the parish I'm currently at, I was 27 years old. And at the time, our young adult ministry went from 18 to 25 years old. So, I was just a little bit older than those that were in that ministry. I was a little nervous about starting it myself. And then, right from the start, my pastor says to me, I want to have a retreat. And I'm thinking, plan a retreat with young adults? Like, I'm just getting started and trying to get my feet wet in this area of young adult ministry, and here we want to do a retreat. It was probably the best thing he could ever done, the best advice he could ever done, because he told me it's gonna make the group solidified, and it's exactly what it did. Because some of those young adults today are some of the same young adults that help out and volunteer in my ministries today. Some of them are youth ministers now around our diocese, which makes me really proud of them and really excited for them. You saw Sarah just on a couple episodes ago, and there's a couple others. Some of them have went on to become seminarians. Others have went on to get married. They met at this group at those very first formative years, and through these retreats and different things they met, and now they are living good holy Catholic marriages. And so it's just incredible to see what God has done in that ministry, and it started with a retreat. And now we have multiple retreats a year with our ministries, between our confirmation retreats, our high school youth ministry, our young adult youth ministry, our core team leaders. We do retreats so much. We cannot get enough retreats around here. And because we see the value in them, we see what it does for our groups and how it really does set them on fire, give them those spiritual highs coming off these retreats, these mountaintop experiences. And so we really do feel that retreats are super important. It's a lot of coordination, it's a lot to put together. So I'm going to be giving you a 3-part series coming up on retreats, all about how to plan them for high school youth ministry. So stay tuned for that. Retreats do not disappoint, though. So do them if you can in your ministry. So I know I talked about a lot of different things. I totally missed one other mountaintop experience, though, that I want to share with you. And that is experiences of a greater group. Things like NCYC, the National Catholic Youth Conference, going to great talks by other amazing Catholic speakers. We have one coming up right behind us. Paul J. Kimmy's coming to my parish. I'm so excited about it. I look up to him and what he does as a Catholic youth speaker is just incredible. And so if you can take youth to these experiences as well, add them on to your ministry in the things that you do, because they do not disappoint and they do leave youth feeling so inspired. You know, Jesus took his core apostles, Peter, James, and John, onto the mountaintop and to see the transfiguration. That's what it's about. Seeing a transfigured faith, seeing it transform and change for the good, for the better. And that's what's going to happen in your ministry. So I can't speak enough about mountaintop experiences. Put them into your youth ministries, make them happen. You will not be disappointed. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. It's going to make your ministry on fire. It's going to set them on fire. And so teach these youth about the faith. Give them these experiences in any way that you can. And in turn, you're going to see their hearts touched and their souls touched. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much.